So I've been back just chilling on campus for a couple of days, and it got me thinking a lot about what I loved about college, but also what I kind of regretted about college, because there's a lot of things you do in your 4 years in college, and not all of them are gonna turn out well. So I thought I'd make this quick video to talk you guys through 5 of my biggest regrets throughout college, so you don't make the same mistake. So the first one, and this may not be applicable to everyone, especially if you're out of state, but it's sticking to your existing friends as soon as you get into college. So for context, I went to high school like 30 minutes away from when I went to college. It was a pretty big high school, competitive, so like literally 40 or 50 of the people in my graduating class went to UNC, and as a result, I knew quite a few of them. I was close with a lot of them. That kind of just became our automatic friend group freshman year, and we knew a lot of friends at NC State too, so we would go between campuses a lot. And don't get me wrong, it was really fun at the time, and now looking back in the middle of sophomore year, I realized that I really didn't know that many other people at UNC. I hadn't tried to branch out at all. I barely joined any new clubs, and I just got so comfortable in the group I was already in, and that didn't help my social life as I went further throughout college, because things started happening in the group, drama started to happen, people started to not talk anymore, and then you're kind of just stuck in your own campus without that many people to talk to. So that's why I made kind of a late push in like junior year to join 2 more new clubs, meet a lot of people, and it ended up working out, and I had a really great senior year. But I almost wish I had done what I did in junior year and freshman year, and I think that would have added a lot to my college experience. Number 2, not going to enough office hours. There was really only 1 or 2 classes where I went consistently to the professor's office hour, and they were both summer classes because I didn't really have much else to do at the time. And I found that every single time I went, I would learn something new. It would be genuinely really helpful, and on top of that, I got to form more of a personal connection with my professor, which is really important, especially if you're in a big lecture hall class where they don't even like see your face on a daily basis. Getting to form that connection can be really helpful. And you know, if you ever end up needing that like 0.1% bump in the end, going to office hours might help that actually happen. But besides that, like, you can ask any questions you want, and it almost becomes kind of like a whole Q&A if there's multiple people there, because you can hear questions that other people have that you might not realize that you have, and it'll help a lot with your work. So take that extra 10-15 minutes to either log on to the Zoom office hour or actually go to their office. And especially if you're struggling, don't feel bad actually telling them that and getting the help that you need, because it can help a lot. The next one, I feel like these kind of tie in together, but A, taking college, especially the academic part of it, too seriously, and B, worrying about the future a lot. So for example, I think this mainly hits in like junior and even senior year, but as soon as the start of junior year happened, people are trying to find internships, people are networking, people are posting their wins on LinkedIn, and if you don't have anything at the time, it can start to feel really isolating. It start to feel like you're really behind, and then you're just getting that mode of like always thinking about that, always focusing on that, applying to jobs. And yes, apply to internships, and internships are great, but that shouldn't be what your life revolves around during that time in college, because that's like the peak of college. That's when you probably know the most amount of people, are involved in the most amount of things, have sports games and all these activities to go to. So enjoy that part of it, live in the moment, and just think about all the other stuff in the background. And if you are putting in like a consistent little bit of effort, it will work out in the end. I didn't get my junior year internship until April, and I didn't get my current job that I got after graduating until the June after I graduated. So it's okay, be patient. And yeah, like I said, don't take grades too seriously. Like, maintain a solid GPA, but most things after college, grad schools and jobs will just have like a baseline bottom GPA, and that can be anywhere from like 3.0 to 3.6. So as long as you stay above like a general threshold, don't kick yourself for getting like 1 C+ or something like that, as I did, and I regret that later. Now, speaking of that C+, if you saw my whole transcript reveal, I talked about this a little bit there, but don't feel stuck to a specific major. When I entered college, I was like, business is my major, that's what I'm gonna apply to, that's what I'm probably gonna get, and I'll stick with it. So when I didn't get into the business school, that kind of threw me for a whirlwind. I started looking at a bunch of different majors. I'm like, none of these are gonna fit me as well as business did. Lo and behold, I end up majoring in media and journalism and minoring in business later on, and that was a way better combo for me. I don't think I would have enjoyed the business major at all in hindsight. So open yourself up to that possibility of the major that you think of going in might not be the one for you, and it very well might be, but you'll never know for sure unless you try other majors. And because my mom was like an economist and always kind of wanted me to do econ, and I somewhat was interested in it, I also considered double majoring in econ, so I took 2-3 classes for it. I didn't do well in like any of them. I ended up pass failing one of them, but I just stuck through it because I'm like, there's only 5 classes left. I can get through this, and having that econ on my degree will be really helpful. But with like 4 classes left, I realized my GPA was kind of tanking through econ, and I didn't really want to do anything econ related in the future, so there's just no point in going through that. So I had to cut my losses and stop the econ major, when in reality I probably shouldn't have even taken 2 of those classes to begin with. So don't get in that mindset of one major being the end all be all, and explore your options. And number 5, I might add one more after this if I think of any later, but not taking enough advantage of the free resources you get at college. This can be anything from like all the free Adobe products to LinkedIn Learning to even other things like CAP, mental health stuff, or therapy that they offer for free to students on campus. There is a lot of things that you get for just being a university student, and discounts as well. And I feel like after I just figured out the couple that I really used freshman year, I just kind of stopped looking. But right before I graduated, I started looking at the whole list, and there is a whole bunch of things that you can get for free as a student that'll help you with any hobbies that you have. There's so many things you can rent from like the library, from professional camera equipment to making a podcast. And you don't obviously have to have like this full like end goal of all of it, but just try it out once, look through the list, see if there's anything that you've always wanted to try or always wanted to buy, and just try it out for free as a student, and you might end up really liking it, realizing that you want to buy it later on. Like, I'm still on my student Adobe plan, but as soon as that expires, I'm probably gonna have to bite the bullet and spend money on it. But it was very nice having it for all these years. And that even goes for things like sportscapes. So you can get into any sport for free. Obviously there's a couple that will require like luck or lottery, but any single other sport, like you can go to a field hockey game anytime you want, just show your student ID. And it's so cool. Like, I never thought I would enjoy going to a field hockey or like a volleyball game before college, but I started going and it started being really fun. And you have an automatic team to cheer on, so yeah, just explore that. Okay, hello. Quick scenery change from UNC to Bangkok to Thailand, but a couple more regrets. Number 1, take advantage of breaks as much as possible. Summer break, winter break, even Thanksgiving and fall break. Once you graduate, for the most part, those just are not really things. So having a period of a couple days or a couple weeks where you just really have nothing to do or focus on, or work obligations, was actually so nice in hindsight. And this can mean different things for different people. Like, for me, it'd probably be just shutting down all sorts of work and traveling. For you, it might be visiting home or doing other stuff. Just whatever makes you feel fulfilled while on a holiday. Make sure you do that during breaks. Like, to go on this trip with my family, I had to take 2 weeks off from my job, and that was not easy, and I didn't really want to do it, but that's what you got to do. So take advantage of breaks. And the last one I have, this isn't necessarily a regret. It might not apply to you if you go to college in a big city or something, but just enjoy living in a college town if you live in a college town. I guess I didn't realize until like moving to Washington, D.C. that living in a college town is so nice. It's mostly walkable. You're surrounded by people that you know. It's so easy to go meet friends and whatnot, go to different places. There's usually like one downtown street with bars and restaurants that you can hang out on, and just having that environment just doesn't really come back again. So as much as living in a big city is fun and can be very fun, there is something special about college towns too, so enjoy it while you have it. And honestly, now coming back to UNC, I love Chapel Hill. It's still home, but it doesn't feel exactly the same after you graduate. But that's gonna do it for me. Hope that was helpful. Enjoy whatever time you have left in college. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'm gonna go back to enjoying Thailand. I'll see y'all. Peace out.